Hey guys, welcome to Conspiracy Corner Podcast. It is Abe, your host. It is July 11th, 2024. This episode, hopefully you clicked on it. I have a feeling it's not going to get a lot of views because I'm probably going to title it My Vacation Plans. And I get it. People come here for conspiracies, and actually, this is an episode that's going to be full of conspiracies, because anyone who's kept up with the channel knows that each vacation I usually go to places that have to do with conspiracies, paranormal, ufology, stuff like that. So you'll get your fill of red pill. I'll give you your red pill still for this episode. But yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know my plans for this vacation next week, and just in general, where I'm going. A little bit of backstory on each place. Maybe it'll give you guys some ideas if you live in Kentucky or want to go check out some cool paranormal spots, some cool ufology spots, some cool cryptozoology spots. But yeah, let me just discuss real quick different places I've went in the past for conspiracy related vacations, so that way you can go back and check those videos out or those podcasts out, because I do a little of both. I podcast about the different places that I went to that day and shit. And I also usually I try to document it, like either photo slideshows or actual like mini documentaries almost. So let's go through that real quick, just an update of where I've been in the past. But yeah, as far as like conspiracy places that I've been on vacation to and filmed some videos for or did a podcast about, Hopkinsville is a really cool spot if it's in Kentucky. It was the spot of a UFO landing that happened in Kentucky, and there was basically a house full of hillbillies who were drunk on moonshine and seen these goblin-like creatures attacking their house and had a shootout with them. And if you go to Hopkinsville, they have like a park where you can go to where they have a replica, life-size replica of the UFO, the flying saucer that supposedly landed in Hopkinsville, so that's cool. Also in Hopkinsville, they have a museum there, which we went to, where they have Edgar Cayce's couch. Edgar Cayce is the famous psychic slash prophet slash conspiracy theorist writer. He used to have visions and prophecies laying on a couch. He had a problem to where, I wouldn't say it was a problem because he based his life around it, but he would have prophetic dreams, and he literally would sleep all day, like just slept a lot. And he had this special couch where he would sleep and have visions and stuff. So that's in the museum. Also, they do have like a little area talking about the Hopkinsville UFO landing. So if you're into the paranormal and ufology and stuff, go check that out. It's pretty cool too, because you can actually lay down or sit on the couch. It's pretty neat. And also in Hopkinsville, Edgar Cayce's grave is there, so go check that out, because for one, it's a beautiful cemetery. If you're into the paranormal, I guess you could go out there with like a ghost box or something. We went out there and we were the only ones there, and when you find his grave, it's pretty cool. It's like a fucking shrine. There's coins all over it. There's little trinkets and stuff. It's worth checking out, especially if you're interested in the occult and paranormal and this type of stuff. So that was one vacation we did in the past, and it's somewhat documented. I think I just did a podcast about all of that. So go check out that episode where I go into further detail about what we did. Oh, and on that same trip, because Hopkinsville is close to Land Between the Lakes, we also went dogman hunting in Land Between the Lakes, because Land Between the Lakes is famous and has all these accounts of dogman and Sasquatch out there. Because apparently that's like a rival. Apparently dogman, they say, is like a rival with Sasquatch. And it's almost like gang warfare in that area, Land Between the Lakes. It's like their turfs collide. So, like paranormal battleground. Or cryptid battleground, you know. But yeah, I talk about all that in a previous episode. So go check that out. Where else have we been in past vacations that I've documented? Last vacation we went to, I forget which town it is, but it's home of the Fleetwood Monsters, where there's also a UFO. They seen the UFO crash. I don't think they ever found the ship or anything. But that's where the Fleetwood's monster was sighted. So they have a museum out there, and they also, down the road from it, have a Sasquatch museum. It's worth checking out. I can't remember if we documented all that and put it out on the channel. I may not have, because it may have been during that year that I took off. What was it, last year? Yeah, I think it was last year. I took a whole year off from putting out any content. I was just frustrated, burnt out. You guys already know if you keep up with the channel. But maybe I'll try to put that stuff out, because I got it on memory card and stuff. Maybe I'll do a slideshow of something like that. Where else paranormal have we been for a vacation specifically? Hopkinsville, Fleetwood, Mothman. One vacation, well, actually 2 different vacations. I believe I put out at least slideshows of it. We went to the Mothman Museum. We went on an actual tour to the radioactive site where Mothman was sighted. So I'm pretty sure I put out a slideshow of that, of all the pictures I collected of the actual site, which you have to pay the owner of the Mothman Museum. He does the tours, so you actually have to pay, and he'll take you out there and show you like where they sighted Mothman, and it's pretty fucking cool. It's like an old government TNT military site that you can go out there and like actually walk inside of some of the abandoned domes and shit. It's fucking neat. It's worth it if you ever get the chance to do it. And right across the street from the Mothman Museum is literally the Silver Bridge where it used to be. They have a memorial. Go check that out. And down the road, we have one more trip we have to make to Point Pleasant, because we just didn't do all 3 in one day. A lot of people think that Mothman was basically summoned by a Chief Cornstalk. It was like his last dying curse to that area and to the white man, basically, because he was captured, and they told him, I guess they either told his people they were going to release him, or they were supposed to release him, and they killed him instead. So he put a curse, summoned Mothman, is the theory. But you can go check out, I believe it's Chief Cornstalk's grave or a monument. It's like in some like historical fort. So go check that out. We haven't checked that out yet. We have to make one more trip back to Point Pleasant. So this will be 3 times we went to Point Pleasant, which will be cool. I think that's about it as far as like other older places I've covered that I put content out on the channel. So go check all that shit out if you're interested in this type of stuff. Also, little side note, me and Sammy, we have done multiple ghost hunting investigations in the past as far as local areas of famous ghosts in our area. So you'll find 5 or 6 different ghost hunts we've went on. Go check those out. I'm not going to go into each detail on which ones, like the story behind each one, because we do it in those videos and I would be sitting here all day. So go check out that shit. And I'll get on to telling you the plans I have for this vacation that are conspiracy, paranormal, ufology, that type of related stuff. So give me just a second. And by the way, like I said, we either do podcasts about the places we go to with slideshows, or we actually will film like a mini style documentary, just depending on how we feel. It also depends too on how the people are where we're going, because we have been to places where they're like, you can't film anything or don't post anything about this place. Like we went to a place up the road called Waverly, and I asked the tour guide, I was like, hey, is it cool if we take pictures? And she's like, and I'm like, no big deal. We don't have to. And she said, well, you can, just don't post it. And we were like, okay, cool. So we went on a tour, and my wife was taking pictures the whole time. And the whole time, like, she was acting just really weird, and she kept going, you're not going to post this, right? You're not going to post this, right? And my wife had to tell her like 3 times, like, we're not going to post it anywhere. It's for personal, you know. We just like to look at pictures and shit of places we've been. We do a lot of traveling. And she, I don't know, she was just being real fucking weird the whole fucking time. And I respected her wishes. I didn't post it, you know. But so a lot of these places it's hard to film at, or some of these places you have to only do slideshows if you're going to put out content, because they only let you take pictures. They won't let you record. And I get it. I kind of get it for some places I don't. So we'll do the best we can. So don't get your hopes up super high that we're putting out some amazing documentaries or something. But that, and my wife has already said she wants to focus, because this is her vacation. July is her birthday. So this is her birthday vacation week. And then I take my second vacation week, because I get 2 in November for mine. But here's a couple places I have ideas for. For one, the next town over that from where I live, there's this place, and I'll keep the story short, but it's a haunted bullet hole. And yes, you heard me right. I love ridiculous paranormal. I love when it's a ridiculous, you know, concept. But it's a haunted bullet hole in a building that used to be a bank. The guy who owned it, the banker who owned this bank, was trying to rob his own bank because it was during the Great Depression. And he got found out, and while the police were closing in on stuff, he exited this realm, to put it nicely. And the bullet hole, they framed it and preserved it. And paranormal investigators have went over there and investigated it. They've caught orbs and evidence and stuff. So we're going to go check it out. And apparently the owner's really cool. But that's one of them. Second place we want to check out that's in Kentucky is called Bobby Mackey's. This is actually like a super popular, famous, one of the more well-known paranormal spots in the United States. It's an old country bar. It's actually, if you guys are interested in the whole portals to hell concepts, there's a lot of places that say they're portals or gates to hell. And Bobby Mackey's, as far as I know, is one of those locations where there's a gigantic hole underneath the bar, and people have said that it's a portal to hell, a gate to hell. So that's one of the reasons we want to go check it out. Two, I actually came across this place. I believe it was an episode of Ghost Adventures, which I already know. They're frauds. I already know. Maybe we'll do a whole podcast episode exposing Ghost Adventures, because I really don't like Zach Baggins. After hearing hundreds of stories of how much of a douchebag he is, like, I have no problem putting out a shit piece on him. That, and I don't like paranormal frauds. As someone who is a paranormal investigator and we're legit and real, I don't like frauds. But I first seen Bobby Mackey's, it first came to my attention from Ghost Adventures, and I was actually falling asleep when I was living at this hillbilly's house named Herman the German with my ex-wife, and they showed on the episode like actual video and audio of someone who was possessed at Bobby Mackey's, and like, it's creepy as fuck. Like, it legit woke me up from my slumber because I was scared, like legit terrified from like the audio of it, getting goosebumps and shit. Like, it was hard to go back to sleep that night. And yes, it was terrifying, and it's like, supposedly, like, the place is like, it's not like a normal just ghost hunting place. Like, they believe that there's a demonic presence and shit. So we'll do a deep dive episode on Bobby Mackey's one day, and we'll try to document it the best we can and put it out for you all during that vacation week. Let's go to the next place. And by the way, too, I already know that there has been people who have debunked Bobby Mackey's. I already know because I watch. Here's one thing I hope I don't sound like a broken record, but when it comes to conspiracy or paranormal, I think you should look at both sides. The skeptic, debunker side of the paranormal, hear what they're saying, but also hear the true accounts and the actual investigations, and you decide if it's real or fake. So if you're gonna hit me up in the comments and go, oh, that's already been debunked, you're gonna waste your money, like, it'll still be fun for us no matter what. And even if it has been debunked, like, I still want to check it out, just because even debunked places I still find just as interesting as far as historical value. Like Amityville, pretty sure that's like fake as hell, but I would still love to one day before I die go out to Amityville and check out the house, you know, just because it's so historical. To me, debunking as far as paranormal is just as interesting as real paranormal. Another place we want to check out that's in Kentucky, and I found this through a comment section, was I was watching a conspiracy video. I can't remember who put it out. I think it was Jacob Israel, because I always try to give credit to whoever created it, whoever brought it to my attention. So go check out Jacob Israel. But someone in the comment section was like, I live in Kentucky, and in such and such town, there was a monolith that went up. Do you all remember the whole monolith conspiracy that was going on, that all these strange monoliths were popping up everywhere. And the ufology community was thinking that aliens were dropping them off. And I already know, once again, I already know that, like, they're all, like, man-made and shit. That it's kind of like the crystal skulls. It's pretty much been debunked, but apparently it's still there in Kentucky. They left it. They didn't tear it down, which I thought was cool. So you can go, it's in a park, and you can actually go and check it out. So I thought that'd be cool to go to and check out because it's fun conspiracy shit, you know? But one of the people in the comment sections, I do have to call this person out because this is so ridiculous. They were like, the same person who brought it to my attention that this place exists, she's like, he or she was like, don't go here. Like, there's a bad energy. People have went and they gotten sick afterwards, and it's demonic. And it was one of these people who think that aliens are demons. If you believe that, I'm not making fun of you, but it is what it is. I noticed that with a lot of Christians, that they think everything's demonic and everything's evil and everything's bad. Like, who's to say that it wasn't just some hillbilly who knows how to weld, especially here in Kentucky, who wanted to do a monolith. They seen it and was like, oh, that'd be fun to do. Let's go drop it up off the road, Billy. You know, this would be fun. People will think it's aliens. And I do believe in energies. I've said on this channel before, like, I do get into the woo-woo. I'm just very skeptical. And I believe in energies. I feel energies all the time. I just don't talk about it. And I don't walk around acting like I'm an X-Men going, oh, I can see your aura. I can see the ghost. I can see the energy around you. I can feel it. Are you okay? Like, I've had people come up to me, like, and I'll actually genuinely be in a fine mood. And they're like, oh, I can see your aura, and I can feel your energy. There's a lot of darkness in your life. I can tell you're down and feeling sad today. And it's like, no, actually, I feel amazing. But if you keep trying to make me feel sad and you keep claiming that I'm sad, you're gonna make me mad, because it's like, I feel great, but you're gonna piss me off if you keep doing that. So get the fuck out of my face before I punch you in the face. I can't stand that shit when people are like, they think they're an X-Men and like a psychic and shit, and they're coming up to me trying to make shit up that ain't even fucking real. Like, and then I love it too, because they'll always go, okay, I'll leave you alone, but just trust me, I know, wink, wink. Like, I know, I can feel it, I can see it. I'm psychic, you know. It's like, no, you're not. I'm not lying. I'm actually feeling just fine. Like, leave me the fuck alone. You're pissing me off. One of the places we've also wanted to go to, I'll get into it. I hope these cuts aren't bothering you. I'm just collecting myself and shit. Which I've actually watched other YouTubers who literally make a cut like every 5 seconds, so. Let's see. Bell Witch Cavern is in Tennessee. It's close enough for a day trip. We've been putting this one off on going there. Because this is another one that was featured on Ghost Adventures, and it's literally, I would say it is one of the top 5 most paranormal, most famous paranormal spots in America. Sorry, I gotta run the car for a second. Because, and it's actually one of the first ones. It was like a haunting during the 1800s, I believe. I'm not out. One day I will cover the Bell Witch and do a deep dive on the Bell Witch, because it's super interesting. It's one of the most famous hauntings like ever in America. It's super exciting. Like, there's a lot of high strangeness. poltergeist activity. It reminds me a lot of the Moffat case that I told you guys to check out, that it was a jinn. Turns out it was a jinn haunting the place. So this, honestly, there have been some hints that this thing that was haunting this place was not a demon, but a jinn. I'm not going to do a deep dive on it now because I'm going to do a whole episode on it one day. But the only reason we haven't went, I want to go to this place so fucking bad because it's on the property of where it happened. So they rebuilt the house. It is moved. So it's not the actual house, but they do let you see what it would have looked like. They have a gift shop. They also have on the property a cavern where the little boy found the Indian skull. If you know the story, he brought the Indian skull to the house. The tooth fell out, fell through the floorboards. People couldn't get it. They think that's what caused the haunting. That's one of the theories. Another theory is there was a witch who was a neighbor, and she supposedly, a deal went wrong with the Bell family and her, and they think that she cursed the place. So a lot of theories. But anyways, the reason we haven't went, which is this. For one, go look up online the ratings for this place. The ratings are fucking horrible. And I don't care to shit talk because it's like every rating out there is just shitting on this place. So it's one of those things, I'm just assuming, so making an ass out of me and you, but statistically, there's no way that this can all be trolls. Like, literally, I think I seen like 1 out of 100 that was a good rating for this place. Apparently the owner is super grumpy, super fucking rude. Like, he's the type when you go into the gift shop to buy a tour, he's like, what do you want? You know? He's actually kicked people off of the property, like, for like the littlest thing. Like, he'll be rude. It's one of those things, like, if you really want to check it out, like, you have to keep your mouth shut. Don't ask questions, just go through the tour. When he's rude, just ignore it. Otherwise, he literally has kicked like tons of people out for just literally a person defending themselves and being like, hey, can you not be rude? Or, excuse me, you know, don't talk to me like that. Get the fuck out, get out. He's that type of guy. So I told my wife, I'm like, if we go, because it's a 4-hour drive, I'm like, if we go, just let it roll off your shoulders and kill him with kindness. But that's the only reason we've really pushed it off, you know. And another thing too, like, I've seen his children stand up for him in the comments sections and in reviews, and they're like, yeah, my parents are old, and this place has brought them more struggle and trouble than they thought it ever would have. And I'm like, first of all, I do not feel bad for you. You literally bought like one of America's most haunted spots, famous haunted spots too. Like, if you're a fan of the paranormal, everyone in America knows about the Bell Witch haunting. They've made Hollywood movies about it. They've made 1 billion documentaries about it. They've written 1 billion books about it. It's been on Coast to Coast AM. They've had 1 billion episodes about it. Everyone knows, everyone who's anyone in paranormal knows the Bell Witch story. Like, so I don't feel bad for you. You know, that's like, there was a lady here recently, I'm gonna get sidetracked, but it's fine. There's a lady here recently who bought the Breaking Bad house where he threw the pizza on top of it. And she sits in a lawn chair in her garage and literally like yells at people who walk by. And racist stuff too, like she's a genuine racist. And she's like, You know, this house, by the way, too, this is another thing, and it ties in with the Bell Witch, so I'm not going too off, like, course, but she rented that house off during the filming. She rented it out during the filming, and so she knew what was coming. She actually signed up for it, for all the tourists to come and take pictures of it, you know. Now, people throwing pizzas on the roof, that's not funny, that's not cool. I do agree with her on that, but people are just gonna come by and take pictures of it. Like, that, it's same thing if you bought the Amityville house. Like, first of all, if I was a millionaire, I would collect haunted houses like Zach Baggins or fucking Nicolas Cage, but I would be turning a profit with it. I would open those places up for tours, put gift shops in there. Obviously, keep it as cool as possible and genuine as possible, but make money off of it. Buy it, make money off of it, you know? I don't feel bad for people, though. Like, if you buy the Amityville house, knowing it's the Amityville house, you can't bitch about people coming by and taking pictures. Like, sorry, I do not feel bad for you. So when the kids stood up for the family who bought it, they were getting mad that, like, and the only thing they had was literally, well, me and my brother, we got to go down there and we help them clean up the property, and people just throw cigarette butts out in the parking lot, and they throw empty bottles of water, and they throw their trash out. And I'm like, well, first of all, do you have actual trash receptacles out there? Not saying I'm pro littering or it's an excuse, but do you have the proper receptacles? Are they full? You know? Another thing too, that's expected. Especially, they opened it up as an actual tourist spot, so they knew what was coming. Like, I wouldn't open up a place as a tourist spot and then get mad when I have to pick up some trash. Or, you know, whatever. That's expected. That is expected. It's not going to be spotless. There's going to be shitty people who litter. It is what it is. If you didn't want to deal with it, don't open it up as a tourist spot. With a gift shop and shit, and tours and tickets, and, you know, a whole staff with uniforms and shit. Like, get over it. Another thing too, people were like, no, your dad who runs the gift shop is literally an asshole. But one of my biggest fears was, like, calling up there the day before I drove the 4 hours and being, that's another big thing. They're never open. Like, so if you're going to the Bell Witch Cavern, call ahead of time, because call the day before to see if they're going to be open before you even go to sleep early that night and wake up and drink coffee and head out on the road. And then I would call again to see if they're going to be open that day. Call when they say they're going to be open if you're still heading that way. Like, you need to call multiple times, because apparently this place is renowned for saying they're going to be open and just not opening, because Grandpa who owns it was in a bad mood. So that's one place that I've been wanting to go to, and sadly that's the history behind it. So we probably are not gonna, we're saving that, like, for last pickings of it if we go to, because it's sad, you know. It is sad too, because it's such an awesome looking place. We're in overtime, which is fine. Another place, by the way, disclaimer, we're not going to all these places, so don't think that we're like rich, you know. We're not going to every single one of these places. This is literally just ideas of places we're thinking about going to during our week vacation. We might go to like 1 or 2 of these. I'm just letting you guys know it might be one of these, 1 or 2 or 3 maybe of these places, you know. So just letting you guys know what to expect as far as content. And I like talking about this type of stuff. Another place we want to go to is Waverly Hills. We might save this one for my vacation because it is pretty pricey. Way back in the day, it used to be a year waiting list because they would only open up during Halloween time. But as far as I know, I could be wrong, but I think they got bought out by a different person and they're turning it into like kind of like a year-round paranormal type of tourist place you can go to. So you don't have to make reservations anymore. It's open year-round, so you don't have to go and wait for a year. The tours are kind of pricey. They are turning it into, from what I heard, like a bed and breakfast, at least one area of the sanatorium. Basically, it's a sanatorium where a bunch of people died from tuberculosis, and it's supposed to be super haunted as fuck. And it's pretty well known within the paranormal community as one of the most haunted places in America. And I've heard people's ghost accounts. I'm not going to rehash it because I've already talked about it in previous episodes. I think I did an episode on Waverly Hills. So go check that episode out if you can find it. But that's the last, honestly, paranormal spot that we want to hit up. Besides that, the only other thing that I can say that I want to check out during our vacation next week, or not check out, but I'm going to try to work more on the channel. I'm going to try to get us monetized on Rumble, which means I'm going to have to put out $10 a month myself, pay in $10 a month to hopefully make more than $10 back. I'm going to try to put all my banked stuff, like over 200 episodes, out on Rumble. So go check us out on Rumble. I'm going to try to put it all out there. I had thought about getting a P.O. box so you guys can either send stuff. I hate to ask, but I kind of need money right now to help out my mother-in-law, so it would be going towards a good cause. And like I said, I'm actually in the hole with this channel as far as buying laptops, fucking microphones, these day trips. And it's not that I don't enjoy doing it. It's just, I've said it 1,000 times, I do not make a profit from this channel. Like, I actually spend more money doing this. It's a passion project. So I'm thinking about opening a P.O. box if you guys want to send like $1 or $2. And I even thought about, if you guys do send like $1 or $2, I'll send you guys back my title pages. If you guys watch the podcast, you know that I hand draw, hand color title pages for podcast episodes. So I'll send you one of those back, like signed or something, you know. Depending, like if you send me $1, I'll send you one and I'll sign it and stuff. Like if you send me like $10, you know, I'll buy a frame from Dollar Tree and send it that way. Like I'll hook you up, you know. Cause I do want to give you guys something back if you guys help me out, but I'm thinking about it. I don't know how much it'll cost per month to have a P.O. box. It might not even be worth it, because if they're going to be like, hey, it's $50 a month for a P.O. box, I might just be like, no P.O. box then. Which I'm going to sign up for something called Buy Me a Coffee, which is basically, you can send $1, you know, to tip me. It's basically a tip jar for podcasting. A lot of podcasters use it, and they put their Buy Me a Coffee link in there. So if you want to tip $1, like you're like, oh man, that was a really good episode, here's $1. Every little bit helps, you know. But that's about it. That's my vacation plans, and it's conspiracy, paranormal related, ufology related. So hope you guys enjoyed hearing about these different locations, and maybe you'll go check them out yourselves, or let me know if you have been to any of these places and what you think about it. Y'all have a good day.